Hey y'all, Tiffanie Kellog here. I am super excited for another Tuesday where I am joined today by a special guest, Jan. Now it's a little bit earlier in the morning for her because it's 10 here on the East Coast of the United States. Where are you at? What time is it? How are things going? And welcome.
Thanks for having me so much, and hello everyone. I am coming from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Um, it's just after 8 my time, and I'm getting my kid all ready to go to soccer camp here in a little bit. So it's been a little bit exciting here, kind of scrambling, doing the all entrepreneurship that I'm so committed to. So.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is not like a one kind of thing. It encompasses and joins into all kinds of aspects of our life, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Though hopefully
Absolutely.
that's not the only thing that infuses all different parts of our lives. There's something that you like to talk about, and I have a feeling that joy would be important to have in all aspects of our lives.
100%, because joy is absolutely your secret sauce, your superpower, and your unfair competitive advantage. When you are aware of it, when you have access to it, when you know how to roll with it, because even in clunky situations like we were having some tech difficulties, when you bring the joy, possibilities show up, alternative solutions show up, and of course, you can have that much more fun in the process. So, yes, I am a big fan of joy. I truly believe it's everything. I'm on a mission to fulfill the vision of a joy led world with the intention and goal and mission to touch at least 1 million lives with this message because I have found joy being absolutely a lifesaver, a time saver, a money maker, a health healer, and so many other a relationship healer, so many aspects that it truly does infuse every aspect of our lives. Or if we don't have it, it affects every aspect of our lives. Because just think about it, when you feel better, you see different things. When you are feeling down and or depressed and or like out of solutions, then you don't see solutions. It's through joy that we can actually be creative, and it is a level of consciousness almost to enlightenment, which is why I love teaching it and speaking about it, and why my clients love coming back again and again to work with me, women business leaders, because they know that this is their like secret edge. It's their secret sauce to being able to show up in every aspect of their lives as the optimized version of themselves. And that's what I'm excited to talk to you about today, Tiffany, and bring to your audience is joy is so often brushed aside as a someday nice to have
Mm.
versus really being the go-to, because the way I teach it and have lived it and lead it still, and how it has changed my life every step of the way, is that we actually there's a pre-step to the joy, and that is mindfulness. It's
Mm.
getting more a present moment awareness, which is how I teach it. I'm also a mindfulness meditation teacher, and when we can get into this present moment, acknowledge what is, and it's, sometimes it's not what we want it to be, but we get present, and it's like getting in the car and going, okay, I want to go from Wyoming to Florida. If I How do I get there? Well, the car acknowledges you're in Wyoming. Like, we have to understand where we in our present state of being. And sometimes it's not always joy. I teach the not joy too, but that's how we also get back to the true joy is we start where we're at. And then when you plug it into the GPS, where do I want to go? I want to go to Miami. I want to go to a more successful business. I want to go to a healthier, happier marriage. And then joy is actually the vehicle.
Mm.
What is the next joyful step I can take? And then joy is the fuel. How can I keep building on that and building the momentum? And then what's the next step? So joy is the fuel, sorry, the vehicle. I haven't had my second coffee yet.
Again, y'all, it is early out there on the west side of the United States.
Thank you. And I haven't had my connection with nature. I spend time in nature to start my day too. So joy is
The
the
vehicle.
vehicle, the fuel, and the destination. Because we want to get there, right? We want to get to that business vision, that relationship vision, that holistic, joy-filled life vision. And how we get there isn't putting our heads down, working hard, and pushing through. And, so many of us were raised with play when the work is done. And what I truly believe in is play at the beginning, before, during, and after. And then you actually achieve a far better outcome than what you could have imagined. Because joy being this level of consciousness, almost to enlightenment, you're energetically available to different people, places, and opportunities than you otherwise would be available if you were more in desperation, if you were more in the push through energy. In fact, I just learned of a really cool study done at, I believe it was the University of Florida, a tennis team, and they distinguished the difference between the top 5 athletes and the top 25 athletes. And what they found is the top 5 athletes had positive self-talk no matter what they did on the court. They were able to reframe and say, well, I'm going to go again. I love this game. I love what I'm doing. And they kept it going. And that's how they maintained top 5 versus top 25. And I just thought that was a really cool statistic that I just came across. And there's so many other statistics now that I'm so thankful for that spiritual leaders across time have always known. I mean, the Buddha talks about joy, His Holiness, and Archbishop Desmond Tutu wrote a whole book, and they have a whole movie documentary about how joy has affected their political and spiritual careers and advocacy for their countries and the world. And there's a statistic, though, now there's lots of statistics across all sorts of different fields. And yet Sean Aker, who was the first positive psychologist named distinguished department, if you will, at Harvard, he did all these studies to actually find out when we are in our joy, when we embody happiness, we're 40% more productive. We're like something like 37% more likely to make the sale. There's like 10 times less days of sickness if you're an employee or even self-employed. Right? So there's so many statistics that advocate for this notion of joy. And the reason I'm out here and on this mission to reach people is these statistics are great. And I'm here to help teach how. Because all of these avenues talk about how great it is, but don't necessarily talk about how. And I have tried and true proven systems, structures, and processes, including a process called the happiness prism, which is what I live by and I teach by and I believe by, and why I have rainbows in the background. Because the thing is when we're in our joy, and you all know it, like, you know it, when you are radiant, Tiffanie, like it radiates out. Like, people see it, they feel it, they sense it. And you know that feeling when you're out maybe at a business function, a networking event, and someone's just like, they don't even have to say anything, and you're like, I'm drawn to them. That's that joy radiance. Now the reverse is also true. Like, and this is what I want to bring home to everyone, is when you're not in your joy, you like repel people, things, opportunities, because the energy is like a reverse vacuum. And And instead of magnetizing your energy and drawing people in, they're like, "Ooh, I don't want to go near you." And we know what that's like. And like, look, we're all human. And gosh, I have my moments, but that's also why I'm so good at what I do, because I'm queen of not joy too. And that's part of where I started out my journey, was really acknowledging I wanted to be in my joy. I wanted to experience more happiness, and I couldn't. And no matter how many specialists I connected with at the time, so my first real understanding of this content started as a teenager, and I had horrible depression. And I won't get into the whole story, and yet I was so depressed, and yet I had this deep desire for the joy. And that's when I really started my lifelong commitment and devotion to this conversation of joy, because as I stood in my joy and learned to discover it, and the first step, by the way, I will reveal it to you now,
Ooh,
is
yay.
actually it's back to that GPS thing. It's acknowledging, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Because when we stand there and say, wow, and I'll just, use the simple analogy. I'm standing in Wyoming and it's like, I don't know where I want to go. I don't know where I want to go. Although, by the way, I love Wyoming, and I have to tell a really cute sidebar story. We were playing a game inside. I live in a cabin in the woods, partway up the mountain. And my son points outside, and a mama bear and two cubs walk across our driveway and up our back path to our
Nice.
backyard. So I had a mama bear and baby bears in my in my yard just yesterday. So I do love it here, and even if you love where you're at, the way to move forward in life is actually look at what's the next thing that can bring me joy. And the really quick backstory for me was, at the time I was highly depressed, deeply depressed. That's an interesting way to say it. Highly depressed. I was deeply depressed as a teenager. And I, it came in sideways, and it often does. It's not like we can manufacture it or strategically plan it even. It's really truly going in, and that's where a lot of my work is, around spiritual connection, and that's where I teach mindfulness and meditation, so you can go in and listen to your inner guru, because I believe we all have it. And again, it's an aspect that we're not necessarily taught as young kids. It's a learned trait, and yet I had the experience as a teenager where a German substitute teacher saw something in me, like so sideways. And yet she invited me to the back teacher's lounge, and she was like, I just get this notion, and she's pointing at this poster, that you ought to apply to this scholarship to go to Germany as an exchange student. And a light bulb lit up inside, a spark started inside, and just the possibility of going somewhere else, to a foreign country with new people and opportunities and food and experiences and all these things, lit me up inside, just the idea. And that's where my invitation to everyone today is, start to just feel into, what is that next thing for me, because we're all growing. I don't care if you have 100K business, $1 million business, whatever, billionaires.
Yeah.
I work with billionaires. I have billionaire clients that want more. We are here as human beings. It is human nature to want to grow and desire more. And it's not more stuff, by the way. I want to be very clear. Sure, we want to experience that new trip or that house or car, whatever. What we're talking about here really is the ultimate depth of true inner joy that we can utilize to enjoy
I
our
love it. I
lives.
love it.
Yeah.
And I know there's plenty of people out there that probably are like me a few years back. I was struggling with starting meditation. Like, it's interesting because I've looked at my meditation app when I first signed into it, 2017. It wasn't until 2022 that I actually got on a streak where I'm like, okay, I'm going to meditate every day. And I know that you have some free meditations as well as 100 days of meditation things. So can you tell us about those two things? Because I know being present and being mindful is like this first step to being on joy. And at least what I know about meditation, it's not always that. However, it's a good practice to get you in being present. So I'd love for you to share with our audience that those two kind of offers that you have for the meditation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because here's the thing. I have known for years, just like you were saying, I knew for years that meditation would help, and you couldn't get me to sit down on a cushion. And that's actually where my work comes from and stems from, is that I don't go to the meditation first. I go to
Mm.
play first.
Ah,
I go to get into your joy first. So, I was kind of talking big picture before, of like the spark of a bigger idea, and like the opportunity for me to go to Germany was joyful. Well, on a small scale, on a daily scale, it's a daily habit that I teach. Part of my 100-day meditation journey, called Fueled by My Joy, is play just a little bit, play a fun song, dance around the kitchen. Um,
we,
just
we we
move
like
your
we like
body.
doing puppy dance time. So I get one or both of the puppies, and we time warp, and we, whatever it may be. We love our puppy dance time.
Perfect. Because that's where you start. And that's why I found, and that's how I actually got to the space of a really healthy and joyful relationship with meditation, is starting with, especially we big energy people, like big idea people, like there's a lot going on, and it can be frenetic energy, it can be excitement, but it can also be like doom and gloom. And so that joy and puppy playtime, time warp, I love that. And whatever that is, and I have whole programs that I teach around play, because it's not just happy, happy, joyful. It can sometimes be sipping slowly, sensually, a delicious cup of coffee. Yes, there you go, with a mega cup. I love that. And
They
it
only
can
make Grogu cups in big cups. I don't know why that is. I need to find me a small Grogu cup for my tea.
That's awesome. No, I think the mega cup's awesome. It brings you joy. And so, the joy piece is, start with joy, get into your joy just for the sake of it. And then once that energy is moved, then we can sit down, or we can engage in one of my meditations, which are also sometimes walking meditations.
Mm.
Because again, I'm not about just sitting down on a cushion and oming. I'm about moving through thoughts. They're guided meditations. I guide you into different playful aspects of yourself. And so the meditation opportunity and gift that I have for everyone listening is, if you go to joyfilledleader.com, joyfilledleader.com, you can grab my uh, Joyful Leader morning meditation, and it's about 9 minutes. It is a walking meditation. It's about getting into your joy, moving into it. And that's where, as I teach meditation, it's not just about sitting around and doing it. Like I lead a mindful equine experience. I lead a mindful ski and snowboard experience here in Jackson Hole. And we talk about even sometimes skiing as a moving meditation. So appreciating meditation isn't just sitting on a cushion and breathing. It is getting present. It's getting into this moment. And yet, for me, as I've really been called to share meditation, it's also about giving that space to tune into different aspects of yourself. And I'm such a believer, and obviously I'm clearly a cheerleader. This is how I am, because I really believe in encouraging and uplifting. The meditations are very uplifting. I have clients who have repeated my 100-day program of Fueled by My Joy at least half a dozen times, if not more, because they love coming back to the loving, positive encouragement that I bring. And I'm always about, and what I love about meditation is it's present moment awareness. Like, so what if we failed? And I know that's a whole other sidebar conversation. So what if I screwed up? So what if I missed meditation yesterday? We're talking about today, this present moment. Like, how can I show up now, and then now, and then now? And that's my work around joy, is about, it's also an acronym of just own you. and own that maybe you screwed up or tripped up on your habits, or, didn't show up the way you wanted to yesterday. What you have is now. And that's where my work with the meditation and my overall work with leaders is to really look at how can I get into the now and optimize from here, and how do I learn from the lessons and blessings from the past, and let that shift my trajectory to something even better, because our future is not set. And in fact, I believe when we show up even better in the now, we can lovingly transform our experience of the past. And that's where, like, if you see my company logo, it's about the no regrets life. And that's like a little insider to understand all of these practices of focusing on joy, of getting into the now, help clear the past anguishes of things not working out, us not showing up the way we wanted to, in all of those aspects. So if you go to joyfulleader.com, I would love for you to get my meditation. And I have more on the other side of that too. And then, yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share that, Tiffanie, because I'm such an advocate to share that meditation doesn't just have to be a calm, soothing voice. Although I've been told my voice is so calm and soothing, I have many clients whose dogs will listen in and end up snoring in the background because they are so soothed by my voice, even though it's uplifting and supportive.
I love it. Now I'm going to have
playful.
to try. And here's what I suggest, y'all. Let's go to Joy Filled Leader. It's right there on the screen in front of you. Download the meditation, try it out, and then come back and comment. What did you think? How was that experience? Was it your first time meditating ever, or your first time walking meditation? Yeah, I think somewhere along the line, meditation got synonymous with let me sit on the bench in silence, or and there's so many different ways that you can meditate, so many ways that we can be present. It's been amazing hearing. We've just got less than a minute or so left. Where can we find you? What else is that last nugget that we really need to know? All that fun stuff to wrap us up.
Awesome. Yes. So I'm also on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I know you also had my regular website up there, janhoath.com, or janjoymentor.com. They go to the same place. And the final nugget in loving encouragement that I have for everybody is this: look for the little joys. I promise you, right here in this moment, when you get off of watching this, just look around and see something that can make you feel a little bit joyful. It might be a picture, a note. It might be seeing others engaging if you're out in public. It might be something, a note you wrote to yourself, or a love note from someone else. It might be a picture or a painting or a plant. Just look for a little joy and just notice the experience of being with that little bit of joy, and just those little increments, just like we've learned from, if you've ever read the book Atomic Habits, it's that tiny increase over time that builds the muscle. And so just start looking for the little joys, and I promise you will already start to feel and see things differently.
Thank you so much. It has been a joy having you here with us today. Y'all, make sure that you go get those meditations. I'm sure once you're on the website, you can find out. She's got it. Her equine event coming up. She's got 100 days of meditation. What was the name of that 100 days of meditation program again?
Fueled by my joy. So that you can go be fueled by your joy.
Huge opportunities to really embrace and live a life where joy is your vehicle, your GPS, and your destination. No, your vehicle, your fuel, and your destination to get there. Got it. Thank you so much, Jan. It has been a pleasure for coming in, talking to us this early. We appreciate it.